Jared,
Morning.
how's that apple?
It's great.
Good man, good. You know what they say. You know what they say.
All right. Morning, everybody. So we got Jared, Perry, Alicia, Kevin, Daniel. I'm sure a few more people will jump in. Guys, if you have a camera, if you're able to put your camera on, I think that's awesome. I love it when we have cameras on. We can see people. Feels like you're actually talking to a room of people, instead of just a blank screen, would be awesome. So, this morning, Sam, welcome, mate. Welcome. It's been a while since we did the last one with you, mate. It was 8 months ago, even more, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It has been a little bit. Are you guys all in Australia? We'll get
We'll,
That's amazing.
we'll run around the room and just say hi to everyone and find out where everybody is. Just get them to say hello and where you are, right? But just quickly before we do that, Sam, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to record this. We'll be putting this on our Facebook group. So if people haven't made it here to the live, they should have. But if not, they can see it, and then we'll put some contact details for you. They can reach out and find you. But Sam, from Uphex, if people don't know what Uphex is, you are started out with an awesome software for basically making ads easier for people, through a systematic process with ad libraries, launching ads in 3 clicks, which is a great and easy way to do and proven ad templates. You also now help agencies to run and grow and scale. Correct me if I got this wrong, Sam, but I believe, wasn't it something like 30% of the people who collected a SaaSpreneur award used Uphex?
Yeah, and the year before last, my internet connection. Uh, we won a lot of that do it. I don't this last calendar year because they blew up. They've like doubled in size in a single year, it seemed like. But we still Uphex wins a ton of those SaaSpreneur awards.
Yeah, awesome. You did just chop out there a second, mate. So Sam did explain earlier he's having a little bit of thing with his internet. So if you do chop out, if we miss anything, I'll just get you to repeat it, Sam, if that's okay. So what we're going to talk about today, because you do a ton of this, you
That's
do
okay.
like you've run, built, and sold your own agency. You're now running Uphex. You help other agencies to grow and develop and build their products and their offerings and to scale. Because there's a lot to it, as we know, running agencies. Um, so we're going to talk today about choosing your niche for an agency. I think you've got a pretty awesome presentation for us to go to. We'll have Q&A. I know that you like interaction through. So guys, if you have any questions as we go through, pop your hand up. I'll point out to you, and then Sam can answer any questions for you. Before we jump into that, we might just run around the room quickly and just get you guys to put your mic on for a second and just say hi, what your name is, and where you actually are, if that's okay. I'll go to you first, Jared, because you're the closest one to me.
Sure. My name is Jared. I'm from Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared. Alicia?
Hello, I am Alicia. I'm from Daybra, which is a rural town in like just outside of Brisbane, Queensland. Um, I have a marketing agency. Right now, we're in our art studio, so that's a different business, but that's why the background looks a bit funny.
All right, you're just down the road from me on the sunny coast. Nice.
Oh yeah, nice.
Daniel. Hey, mate.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Sorry, apologies. I've just woken up. I'm on the west coast of Australia, right here in Perth.
Oh, mate, so it's what is it
It's just
like?
7:30.
Okay. Oh, it's not too bad. I think, oh no, it's
No,
five
no, I
hours.
just slept in a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking it's 5 hours behind, but it's a 5 hour flight, but you're 2 hours behind, right? That's right.
Yeah, correct.
Uh, Kevin,
Yeah, Kevin Baker from Sydney.
Sydney. Welcome, Kevin. I know if you're able to put your camera on, Kevin. If you are, awesome. If not, don't stress if you're in your PJs or something. Um, Perry, you with us there, Perry? Perry's on mute. Maybe he's making cornflakes or something. I don't know. And Tony.
Oh,
from LA.
Hey,
How are you?
Tony,
What's up?
welcome from
Good.
LA. And then
Thank you.
I can't leave out. We've got Carlos. Carlos, where are you, mate? Everybody should know you by now anyway, but
Hi, it's nice to meet you all, Costa Rica.
and Camilla, our new staff member.
Hi everyone, I'm Camila in Colombia.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right. Sam, mate, did you want to jump in? Do you want to share your screen, or would you like to just explain a little bit first about maybe what we're actually going to run through today? Actually, might be a good way to
Yeah,
do
I'm going to
that.
jump in. Look, have you guys seen Uphex? Do you know Uphex? How many of you guys, by show of hands, know who Uphex is? Okay. All right. So I've been doing this agency game for like a decade. Okay. I have, like Gary was saying, I built an agency and it was around chiropractors and all that kind of stuff. And then me and my team built this awesome tool that makes so you can launch Facebook ads in 3 clicks. Okay. And we launched onto the high level scene maybe 3 years ago, something like that, 2.5, 3 years ago. And we help a lot of agency owners add the one thing that there's over $350 billion in North America, in the US alone, that local businesses spend on ad dollars. And we help agencies go in and get that money, right? So the average high level agency is charging 97 to 297. You slap on Uphex and you're starting at 497 all the way up to, we have people charging a lot of money. So, Michael Dooley was here last time I was here. He's in Australia over there and he's one of our big users. He does not charge 497. He charges a lot of money. So anyway, so
Michael
how many of you
Dooley
guys,
sorry, Michael Dooley is coming on next week to do a presentation for us on sales.
yeah, he's a heavy hitter. That boy he crushes it. So
Yeah.
he does an awesome job. So before we get started, how many of you guys have been at this game for 6 months or less? Okay, 6 months or 6 months to a year.
If you want to pop it in the chat as well, guys, if you don't have your cameras on.
You can put it in the chat. You can raise your hand. Over a year. Okay, so Alicia and Hagen. All right. And okay, 18 months. All right, so we got some seasoned people here. And how many of you guys are okay, let me actually just go ahead and get it seems like we got good internet connection now, so hopefully it stays that way. Gary, just yell at me if something changes.
Seems okay, man.
All right, we're gonna jump into We're gonna jump right into this. All right, Alicia, you ready to go? Jerry, you ready to go? Dan, you ready to go? All right, let's get real for a minute here. How many of you guys have more than 20 snapshots in your high level account? Okay, we might like be teaching stuff that these guys already know. These guys already seem pretty seasoned. We're gonna act like you don't. How many of you guys are willing to work with any client that says, "Hey, I'll pay you money"? Okay, we got some. How many of you guys are charging $97 per month for your software and think you should be charging more? How many of you guys have been doing this 6 months and you're still kind of broke? Well, based on the answers I'm getting, you guys are actually pretty dialed in. Now, most people do this because they do the very first step in this business wrong. So here's what I'm going to show you guys today, which is, I call it the straight path to 10K monthly recurring revenue. But are you guys already at 10K monthly recurring revenue? Okay, I am, yes, charging $17.50 a month. How many of you guys are under $10,000 monthly recurring revenue? I might be teaching the wrong thing on this workshop. Okay, Daniel, how about you? Oh, okay, Daniel, that was you. Daniel, Alicia, you are? How many of you guys have chosen a niche? How many of you guys are already in a niche? How many of you guys are not in a niche? So was Jared the only person that read the registration page? When you guys registered for the workshop, what was it that you were wanting to learn? Like, for real, I'm being genuine. I do this all the time, and I got a bunch of different stuff I can teach you, but I really want to know, how to pick a niche. So Jared read it. Okay. What
Just had
about
a
you,
few
Alicia?
more, just had a few more people enter the room there, Sam, as well. So maybe just you might want to just ask that question again for those that have just entered.
Okay. So Alicia,
Yep.
what was one thing that entered your head? You said, I want to attend this workshop because I want to learn what?
Just to see your process, to see if I can make it easier, because we specialize in mostly beauty and aesthetics.
Okay.
And we've kind of dialed in, the size that the clinic has to be, but we don't
Okay.
necessarily sell high level on its own. It's kind of just rolled into the monthly management plan that we promote.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see how other people were doing it or how you were doing it, and see if we can do something better.
This is what I want to know, because honestly, I can go like what you're asking me, I can go straight to my tool and walk you guys through my process. But if a lot of you, if we're not on the same page, then I want to make sure we're getting there. What's up, Dooley? My man. Um, okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to kind of go through this rabbit style. I want to make sure that we start here. So we are going to focus on what to do, how to choose a niche. That's what this entire thing is about, right? You can't, I don't care what anybody says. You cannot go broad and have a fun agency. It will suck. Okay, because you have too many personality types. Every niche has its own personality type. It will not be fun. It will not be good at all. So I'm going to wave my magic wand, and I'm going to say what I'm going to do for you. You guys like that fat little picture of me right there? It's the Gandalf the Grey. That's Sam Dolph the Grey. I want you guys to, by the end of this thing, to feel like your agency is dialed in, feel that you have an offer. So even Alicia, if you're like, hey, my offer is good, but could it be better? I want you to walk away saying absolutely can be, and that you have ads that deliver. So on a scale from 1 to 10, y'all are going to be like, dude, if I could do that, let's rock and roll. All right. Now, a lot of you are already past this. Okay. And the reason I ask these questions is because I don't want to waste time if you guys are already like, oh, okay, well, what's going on? But most everybody, they wander around just buying snapshots. They wander around getting the cheap people. They wander around trying to sell a product. People don't buy a product. They buy an outcome, right? And so most people don't understand why this is causing it. So this is the first place. This next slide is the first place I want to get everybody on the same page. All right. If I were to ask you guys all know that like 90% of businesses go out of business in the first 2 years, right? We all know this. I want you guys to unmute and I want you to tell me. I want 3 people to say they go out of business because of, tell me why. Why do you think that is? Let's not all be brave at the same time. I'll call on you. Alicia, since you were my first nice little, volunteer, why do you think businesses go out of business so frequently? You're muted.
Not charging enough.
Okay, they're not charging enough. All right. What about you, Gary? What do you think?
Get stuck in a rat race of like doing everything yourself and burnt out because you just don't know how to systemize a business. So you get to a point where it's just like, I can't do any more and I can't scale and I'm not making enough money. I'm out of business.
Okay, lack of processes. Jared said not enough revenue, and Annette said cash flow and no clear purpose. You guys, this is why this is so important, right? All of those things are symptoms of a source, and they're all the symptoms of the same source. Everything that you guys just said is because of no market need. Most entrepreneurs have the I got an idea disease, right? And they take their product to market and nobody wants it. Look at the top 2 things. Can you read? The first one says no market need, right? And I'm going to tell you in a second what that means. Do you see what the second one says? It says ran out of cash. I've done my research on exactly this particular report and like why this is. And when you dive deeper, it's no cash flow. What is cash flow? That means revenue from sales, not injections of capital. Or in other words, they weren't these 2 things are the same thing. And what happens is an entrepreneur comes up with an idea. He has what Michael Gerber calls an entrepreneurial seizure. He says, oh my gosh, this is the best idea ever. So that entrepreneur goes to market. and the market doesn't want what he has. That's what is called no market need. Most people are so product obsessed and so shiny object obsessed. They love their thing so much that they never ask the audience, the market, if they wanted it in the first place. This alone is why 71% of businesses fail. This alone is why 71% of businesses fail. That means, conversely, this is the good news. This is why this is like so dope. That means that if 7 out of 10 businesses knew this, they would succeed. If you remove this, that's 71% of the reasons why they fail. Everything else is easy. So what's the solution? A cheesy old book is where I learned the solution to this, you guys. A cheesy old book by a guy named Harry Brown. And he wrote a book called The Secret of Selling Anything. And what he said in his book, he actually said a couple things, but this was the one that you need to remember. Ask the market what it wants, then sell it that thing. And I know that's such a novel, like simple idea, but nobody does it. And nobody knows how to do it. Seth Godin said, don't find customers for your products. See, no market need. Don't find customers for your products. Find products for your customers. Do you see the difference? Do you see that we start with the market and then we reverse engineer to the product? So in the agency business, a lot of people do this. They start out doing, hey, I'm just going to sell this thing to anybody. And when they do that, they either, because they're trying to sell to everybody, they sell for just 97 bucks. That's the only money that they'll be able to get. They just can't get it. Why? Because the market sees no value in it. Okay? And there's no originality. There's no unique proposition. What is the solution? It is picking a niche. Now, I learned this in many different ways, but I learned this in my own business when Facebook published a case study on my agency. So in 2018 or 19, they published a case study. And we thought that our marketing, what we were doing in our business was good. We were doing a good job. We had hit product market fit, but we found this really apparent in the way we did our advertising. Because this resonates not with just your agency model, which is what we're going to talk about, but also in the way you advertise in your agency. And when they picked us, they wanted to do a case study. And at that point in time, we had thought, erroneously, by the way, that the best thing to do would be cheap leads. Like if the lower our leads cost, the better off we were. And the higher our click-through and our conversion rates were, the better our business. We thought that that was right. Okay? We thought cheap leads were the thing. But when Facebook publishes a case study, do you know what they have that you don't? Data. They know when people go out of business. They know how to attribute revenue and sales based on revenue. They don't put that in Ads Manager, by the way, but they know. And what they told us was that the 2 campaigns run that we were so proud of, that had high lead volume, that were broad, that were all that kind of stuff, did like nothing in sales. But our crappy little redheaded stepchild campaign that luckily the client asked for, that was getting the highest lead cost, was converting all the sales revenue. That bad campaign drove all of the revenue for that case study, which was amazing. Okay. And this is how we learned in our marketing the power of niche specific campaigns. And what's crazy is you can have niche specific ads like these, and they're business builders. Like you can have an entire 6-figure agency off of 2 to 3 ad campaigns. That's it. As long as they work. Okay. Now, the way you do that is you learn how to niche down the right way. So Alicia, I have what I call the niche gap formula. So it's not enough to have a niche, so a sub niche, a narrow group of people. And I think you're in aesthetics. It's not enough just to do that because a lot of people will go down there with you. What you need are what I call strategic variables or value propositions to layer in to make you more bespoke, to make you more unique. Okay. And so the niche, the formula is basically position you. How do you position yourself as the blue ocean opportunity in that marketplace. Okay. It's the sub niche. It's what I call a value variable. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. And then it's how to own a strategy that you yourself own. Okay. So finding a narrow audience is only half the way to agency success. Without the right value variable, you have no unique positioning. So I have a couple of examples before we jump into this AI tool that I built, which I'm going to give all you guys today. I wanted to show you kind of how it worked, right? And based on value, how do you guys get paid? How do you get paid? How do you make money? You get paid money in direct connection and in direct exchange with the value that you create. So if you're selling leads, you can make some money. If you're selling appointment money, if you participate in the sale, you will make a king's ransom of revenue, right? The further down the sales funnel you go, the more you make. Agree or disagree? All right. So and as we go through these, I'm going to show you guys just some hypotheticals, and we'll jump on the tool and we can do some fun stuff here. But this is a niche navigation summary where with 9 clients, you could have easy $100,000 a month. So the sub niche is Botox and derma fillers, med spa owners offering injectables who want consistent qualified appointment book flow, guaranteed booked Botox filler appointments. You don't pay until it works, risk-free positioning. And basically the way I would do that is whatever niche I'm in, I have what I call free delivery. Okay. And I say, hey, Alicia, this is a new opportunity for us to establish a relationship with you. So here's how we work. I'm going to give you 5 booked appointments for free. It's not a free trial. What happens is I give you 5 booked appointments. And then once we hit that, we go into me getting paid for every show that you get, plus our service fee. Okay. That way, you know, it works. And then that way we can work forward on getting you what you want, which was people showing up for their appointments. Right? That's a whole other script, by the way. But with a script like that, with ads that actually work, you can convert with just 9 clients, you got 100 grand a year. Okay. Real estate, same kind of thing. Now it's funny because real estate is who's in real estate here, by the way? Anybody in real estate? Seems like so many people are in real estate. Real estate, everybody says, is overpopulated. Like everybody's in real estate, right? Well, if you're trying to do real estate the way everybody else does it, then yeah, you're right. Okay. But what if you had an ad strategy that worked so good that people large teams wanted to have their own proprietary license of your system. And we have people who license systems like these, which the better you get, the more you can license your stuff, right? And with this, when we have somebody doing something like this, 3 clients, 100 grand a year. Okay. So it sounds cool. Let's jump into the tool. You guys like this little secret thing? Is that so cool, right? So cool. All right. This is a tool I have called the Niche Navigator. So I'm going to hit the stop share. Okay. And we are going to jump in to this tool here. All right. So Alicia, you want to be my guinea pig since you were the fun little.
Sure.
You don't mind, do you?
Fine.
All right. So tell me about your agency right now. So you're in med spas, is that what you said?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you describe to me your model a little bit currently?
So we charge pretty much a flat weekly retainer to do their Facebook ads. And we just have 3 different packages. So we have one that's just Facebook, Instagram ads, one that's Facebook and Google, and then one's Facebook, Google, SEO and socials, like organic socials.
Okay. And so you charge weekly?
Yeah.
What do you charge weekly?
$330. That includes Australian GST for the base. then 500, and then 1,100 for the top one.
Okay. So basically, in terms of a month, you're doing it 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, and 4,000. Does that include ad spend?
No,
Okay, so that's a part. And then what do your clients spend on ad spend?
it varies quite a lot. Some are $20 a day, some are $200 a day, just depending on their serviceability limit.
Okay. And then you're doing a broad set of, you're doing uh, basically a lot of services, or do you do one type of service?
For each, as in a
Like services that they're selling.
Yeah, no, it varies. And that's where it's kind of frustrating, because in Australia we have APRA, who don't allow you to advertise injectables directly. So we normally have to come up with something else like HIFU or body contouring or a facial service.
What do you do best at?
Probably HIFU or body contouring.
Tell me what HIFU is.
HIFU is, it's like a
spell it for me. Is it pie with a P?
Oh, HIFU. It's like high frequency. That's what it stands for. It just like contours people's faces with heat.
Okay. So HIFU. All right. So I used to own a niche, and you're very experienced. So what we're gonna do is, here's what we're gonna do. I am currently helping med spas with Google and Facebook ads. And you're just promoting like your initial offers and things along those lines. It's just retainer based, right? So you're okay. So okay, we're gonna focus just on HIFUs. Okay, we are awesome at HIFU advertising.
Yeah.
I hope is that HIFU. Okay, well, it probably will know it, and sure it will. Okay. I want a value variable so I can start licensing my system. I have a girl right now that does this, and she makes $800,000 a year, and she has like two VAs because she doesn't offer service anymore. She licenses everything. Right? So we're going to do that. So what I would tell you, have you ever done a promoted a workshop for your aesthetic people?
Yeah.
Med spas?
Yeah.
Okay. I used to do that for med spas, and I would get paid $1,000 for every workshop I did, every single time. And I had one clinic that would do like 8 a month. Okay.
Oh.
So, and the nice thing about that, if all I did was promote workshops and promote this one thing, this HIFU, this one thing, I could scale it to the moon. All right. So what's it going to do? It wants to know what our value variable is. It's specific, repeatable transformation you offer that's outcome focused, quantifiable, and unique. Your agency is not we do ads or we get clients. It's the killer hook that justifies licensing. Let's define your breakdown. Med spas, HIFU treatments. What are you doing? Google plus Facebook? Do you do mostly Google or Facebook?
Mostly Facebook.
Okay, good, smart. Your angle, you want to package this as a licensing model, other agencies and spas buying your system. Let's break down the value variables in 4 steps. What's the repeatable outcome? What can you consistently do?
Yeah, deliver leads to them and bookings.
Okay.
Is that you license the system or at the moment?
So people won't necessarily want to pay you if all you're doing is delivering leads.
Yeah, so that's
they don't deliver. They don't buy that. You can't license a feature. You're licensing a system.
Yeah.
Right. And when you start looking at your niche, now it's really interesting because most of the time I'm giving people like their first niche. right? And so I'm trying to lob a softball. You're advanced, right? So when I'm looking at you, I'm like, okay, I know you can deliver leads. I know you can deliver booked appointments. And how many people, like, how many clients do you have, by the way?
22 at the moment.
22. And then how many of them are at the bottom tier, middle tier, and top tier?
Probably have 4 at the top. Middle is probably the least popular, and then the majority of the lower tier.
Okay, what if everybody was on the top tier?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
How would we do that?
I would honestly probably have to stop the like independently run businesses because they just have the serviceability limit where they can't take on the higher package.
Serviceability, what do you mean?
Like they get booked out and they can't take any more clients on because it's just independently, like they're running their own business and doing the treatments. The higher tier ones have multiple staff.
Okay, so that would be the first thing. The second thing is people will buy an outcome, right? I had a guy who does dry eye treatments and we'll get back to this a little bit, but I feel like some of this is like, hey, let's just talk so we can see what other people are doing. I have a guy who also he promotes workshops. That's like his entire model. So he promotes a workshop, and then after that for a month, he does like different like AI remarketing stuff, like, text message and all that kind of thing, just to kind of clean up the list, right? And then he'll go again, and then he'll go again. And he was asking me, I want to close people at higher ticket, but I don't understand how to do that. Like, I don't understand. And Dooley, I got Dooley on, so Dooley is going to criticize everything I say when it comes to sales. No, but I said, well, tell me what you're saying. He goes, oh, well, we give them a free trial. I said, that's your problem. You're never going to get anybody to pay you a lot of money if you start with a free trial. You say, here's how our program works. Every time we do a workshop, we will get you on average about 20 people to attend that workshop. We give you the workshop itself. We hand to you a proven workshop. It's got a proven offer at the end. Every time you use this system, you will likely land 6 to 10 new patients. Okay? So on average, you'll promote a workshop and you will make, how much do you make per HIFU case? HIFU case.
The base is usually $500, but then they usually spend about $4,000.
Okay, so $4,000. So let's say $4,000 times 6, $24,000. Okay. So when you sign up for our system, we charge you $4,000. 4,000 to make 24,000, that's an easy bet. But we want to make sure that there's no risk in it for you. So here's what we do. We deliver you the outcome first, and then you pay us. And then once we prove we can do that, we have we have 2 packages that we do on the back end of that. And then you give them the package, the $1,100 a week package. And you say, as long as you do 2 workshops a month and we can fill those for you, you will make this much in a year.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to position yourself properly. So we're getting a little bit into the sales side of it. Dooley, how'd I do?
Top notch. Sign me up.
What an ass. No, Dooley, for real. What do you think, buddy? Like, how would you position a sale like that?
No, 100%. I think I'm never big on free trials or anything like that. So, if we're talking framework for a sale, we always want to position it 2 ways. And the first one is, one, what's the emotional connection of what the end result is for the particular client? And then the second one is making it justified from a financial or a business point of view, with that justify, like with the emotional connection. So it's, if we're talking about why do you want so many people at your event? Like, what's that going to do for you and your business? Oh, it's going to X, Y, Z. Okay, so for you to achieve that, what would you be willing, and you need to bridge that gap for you to achieve that, what are you willing to invest to get there? And then as soon as you can come up with a package that's going to make sense for them in their head to get to that emotional connection, you can, as long as it makes money underneath what they said with the monetary wise, you're going to close deals. So, yeah.
Yeah, you just got to anchor it to the right thing.
Correct.
Like you have to anchor it to an outcome that they're emotionally bought into, and then you got to make them a proposition to where they're like, hey, and by the way, I do this thing called the agency partner pitch. It's like, hey, we're going to start running ads in your area starting in May, and we're looking for the right partner. So we think that's you, but if that's not, it's okay. We have a couple other clinics that we're looking at. And then you're like, and we only take one clinic per city. And they're like, "Oh shit, that better be me." Especially when you go through the right. So anyway, so we're getting a little off track here. Let's get back to this thing. But we're having fun because normally when I go through the niche navigator, it's with people who are just starting their agency, and you guys are like seasoned. So this is kind of different, fun. All right. So in terms of repeatable outcome, I want to start. I want you, Alicia, to start thinking more about an outcome that gets closer to the sale. Okay, not leads. We don't want to sell leads. If it's booked appointments, that's okay. But we also want to give the booked appointment like pre-sold booked appointments, right? Or pre-educated booked appointments. I helped one agency. I was like, "Hey, what's the problem with the leads when they show up for their appointments?" Well, people are broke. I'm like, "Okay, well, how can you make sure that you get the able to pay people?" And they're like, well, we could do blah, blah, whatever they could do. I said, okay, if you can figure out that unique mechanism, then you call it the able to pay show up system. You call it what they want.
Yeah.
The able to pay. It's like, oh, well, and a lot of times that's just getting people, well, we're getting too process driven here. Okay. So right now we're focusing on pre-qualified HIFU bookings per month at under $15 per lead. That's focusing a little bit too much on the process, but it's trying to get out of you what you're able to do in terms of your process so it can give you an outcome. Right. So right now you are able to, what's the repeatable outcome? What did you say?
How much they generally spend? About 4,000.
No. What did you say you can produce for them?
Generally, we do get booked clients in, like rather than just leads, because we also help with calling the leads and booking them into their systems. But then that feels so manual, and that's what I want to try and get away from because we're kind of capped at the moment because of that.
You need to get paid more.
Mm.
Don't break something that's working. Just get paid more for it.
Yeah.
Right? Just change the value perception. Rev share, profit share. Yeah. Okay. We get booked appointments for what? What did you? How much? How much would you say?
The minimum booking. Oh, for about $23 a booking.
Okay. What's your unique mechanism? Do you remember what I was talking to you about the able to pay thing?
Mhm.
What would you say? So it's going to three offer HIFU stack funnel, the skin tight ad sequence, the 297 HIFU glow trial with urgency layering. Do you use a specific funnel layout, calendar booking flow, audience, or offer structure? What do you think when it says mechanism, what feature within your stack do you think does an asymmetric job? Like this thing here probably does this much in the entire funnel. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah. So we're very different to other agencies because we, on purpose, make very authentic looking ads with the actual clinic talking and doing a treatment. Whereas a lot of them try and make it look really high end and medical. But when we do a TikTok style ad, that's what gets the leads in and connected. And then because we're making in-person calls to the leads, that gets them booked in. Getting people to answer is tricky, but nearly every time we can get them to answer, we book them in.
How's your show rate?
Well, we take a deposit, so it's close to 100.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Well, that's your unique mechanism, by the way. As a lead gen agency myself, I can tell you right now. So you probably have what, an 85% show rate?
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Crushes it. For everybody who's watching, she's uncovering in her business model something that she knows is valuable, something that was very hard for her to do. Like what she's talking about is not easy to do. And I think you're charging good, but you're not charging enough for it. And your biggest problem, I can tell you right now, is that you're not only getting the 11,000, you just need to get better people, right? And you could license your system to all the brokies. Like you don't work with the brokies anymore. You just license your system to them and you offer the service to the rich people. So that's, we can talk about that later. That's like higher level thinking. But I can tell you right now, you're offering so much value to a business like this that if all you had was 20 clients that were doing this, they would be making a ton of money. And what you're going to find is, I bet you those people paying you $1,100 a month, I bet you they're absolutely crushing it in terms of revenue with you, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's what you want. All right, 3. What's the fulfillment model? Let's see here. Give med spas leads. We're not going to say that. We're just going to, what makes a license? Okay, we're just going to give it this. I want to see what it does with this. All right, now we're cooking with Botox and ROAS. Nice. By the way, it has my personality. So if you talk to this thing and it starts being a little snarky with you, it's because I'm a little snarky. All right, 23 okay, everything. Let's build your licensing value variable. The HIFU Vault, a prepaid appointment funnel system for med spas that deliver ready to pay HIFU clients at $23 book calls using hyper localized related table. I don't know what that means. Ad creatives and automated prepayments designed for med spas that want to eliminate no-shows and stop competing on Groupon zombies. That's your hook to get more of the 1,100 people. You want to run ads to get the 1,100s? Do that because your competition is not doing this, by the way. And lead with case studies. You just run case studies. That's all you run all the time, all day long. That's all you do. Okay. Unique mechanism breakdown. So it's breaking down your process for licensing structure. Done for you licensing setup, 2 to 5K one time plus annual renewal. So this would be for you could do this with your middle and your bottom tier people. I don't think you should get rid of your service. I think you should just charge way more for it. Now you're charging, I think you've already proven that it works. So 4,400 Australian dollars. How much is that in US dollars?
Nothing. US is terrible. I mean, Australian dollar is terrible at the moment. It's like half.
It's about it's a bit under 3K probably.
3,000 bucks.
Bit under.
That's not bad. That's not bad. But I think Dooley's right. I think you do a revenue share, right? Fulfillment model. Okay. So here's what it's giving you. It's giving you this whole niche. You already have a really good business, right? You just need to like split it off. And that's the scary thing is you can systemize all of the people that are paying you 330. So what is 330 a month then? That was like 1,000. Is that like 400 bucks or something?
American.
Is that what that is?
I don't even know what it is converted. Who's better at converting?
So you're offering the people that are paying you $400 a month the same level of service that the
Oh, no.
1,100.
It's 1,200 a month is a minimum. So it's like 300 a week. So 330, like it was with tax, GST.
Yeah, but 1,200 is what in US? Is that 600 a month?
700-ish.
7, yeah.
Okay, so $700, you're giving them the same offer that people get at 1,100?
With the Facebook portion, yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You give the brokies the tool and let them do it themselves and you scale that. Like that's okay. But you just freaking drill the shit out of all these people who are doing your $3,000 a month and you go in on those. You just do those over and over and over again. And you have enough here. Like I said, normally this is easy. And what I would like you to do, Alicia, is I'm going to give this to everybody, by the way. Here, let's see here. Are you using Uphex?
Me? No.
why are you not using Uphex?
That is a good question. I will have to look into it more.
Did you know about it before today?
No.
Oh, I'm just gonna make you a shit ton of money. Holy cow.
Come back next week, Alicia, as well, definitely. Michael, who's on here now, is talking next week. Michael uses Uphex. He's in a completely different niche to you in car sales, and he has this system in place where there's like a done for you, a DIY service, basically, where people are using the systems and processes that Michael's got in the background. They can sort of do it themselves. And then he's got a done for you higher tier model, effectively. So it's exactly what Sam's talking about right now. He's using Uphex, giving them the tool and showing them how to use it, and all the ads, everything templates built for them. So they can do it themselves. And then the higher tier done for you, more expensive version. This is exactly what we're talking about. So definitely come back next week, listen to Michael, and then Michael's going to crush some sales knowledge on there basically as well.
Yeah, Dooley's a G at sales. She's better than me. That guy's a gangster. Hey, the link to the niche navigator, everyone, is in the chat. I just put it in there. Alicia, specifically, have a conversation. You can have a conversation with this bot, okay, and start talking with it within the context, like how we've kind of done this. And you want to develop those two products, right? Because you have so much. I mean, whenever I talk to people, they're always like getting started. And I'm like, okay, I gotta freaking show these people how to click go on an ad. But you have figured out things that, how long have you been doing this?
A long time. Like agency has been around 8 years, but I've been in marketing for 18.
Okay, your problem is you don't know how to create a strategic proposition. Okay. And a lot of that comes down to just the way you position that conversation from the very beginning. Now we're getting a little off script here. Like we've kind of like gone on the niche navigator, but let me just tell you guys, I'll tell you this story about how I figured out how to niche in the first place. I used to be in mortgages a long time ago. Okay. And I got in because two friends said, hey dude, we're going to send you all of our deals. And I was like, that sounds pretty good. I don't have to like get in. I don't got to do. I just close these deals and off I go. Well, I got licensed. That whole thing happened, and they didn't send me any deals. So here I am, like, crap, man. I got to go figure this out. So what I started doing was, I started going into these brokers' offices. If any of you guys in real estate know, that's like it's terrible. It sucks. And I'm gonna mute Dave. Can I not mute Dave? Can you mute yourself, buddy? You keep coming on. And so I wasn't getting any. I was getting nowhere. And my branch manager was like, "This is what you have to do." Well, one day I'm sitting in a broker's office, and I've been like flopping, having a terrible experience for like 2 or 3 months, getting no sales. And I see this magazine and I start flipping through. And there's this real estate agent that gave me that said, no, slam the door in my face. Another one. I had basically talked to all of these people. I'd approached all of them. And I was saying the same thing that everybody else was saying. Oh, I can help you with your loans. It didn't work. And then I flipped the page and there was this lady and her name was Christina McNeil. And she worked based on her listings. She worked with first-time home buyers. The listing said, se habla español, which means I speak Spanish. I speak Spanish. So I'm like, okay, first-time homebuyers speak Spanish. And I knew, I'm like, dude, and all the listings said FHA, this is like, they had government financing. So I knew immediately that one, I could help her because first-time homebuyers, loan originators don't want to work with them. Okay, so I had an opportunity there. I was a narrow sub-niche audience. Two, I knew that she had to translate for all of these customers because they say habla español and the loan officers don't say habla español. And I do. So I called her up, and with this pitch, I made a shit ton of money. So 2 months of complete failure, by the way. And I said, hey, Christina, my name is Sam Carlson. I'm a loan originator and I specialize in government financing. I also speak Spanish, and I noticed that that's who you represent. If you have anybody that's not getting the help they need and that's maybe sitting around on different brokers' desks for a while, I'd be happy to help them out. Boom, 5 deals that day. That lady fed me deals for years. That lady got me a radio show in Idaho called El Gringo Prestamista. I had a radio show. Once a month, I would go out and I would do a radio show as a freaking lender talking Spanish on the radio. Because I had a niche, I had positioning, and I had a strategic variable all on my side, and everything got easy. It was like it made making money so easy. And when you line up an audience, an outcome, and a unique way of doing it, all of a sudden you have a licensable, a very bespoke business model that nobody can compete with. Dooley has people stealing his ads all the time. Don't you, Dooley? You told me that before. But do you think he cares? He crushes it. Nobody can compete with him because he understands strategy and positioning. So people that understand how to not only get inside of that very narrow pocket, but how to be the only one there, they understand that it doesn't matter where you go. As long as you position yourself the right way, you'll always win. All right. So y'all have the niche navigator. Everybody, whether you've been in this, I mean, Alicia's been doing this a long time, no matter who you are, you should be jumping in there and having a conversation and asking it, what can I do to get closer to the sale? What strategic value variables, which by the way, Alex Hormozi, what was his strategic variable? Anybody know? What was his value variable? How did he crush it so much? Was it his ads? Not really. He actually wasn't, and you can hear him, he wasn't that great at running ads. He just ran ads when it was easy. It was because he had a 6-week challenge that he would bring new customers in batches and he would fill a gym in 30 days. Filling a gym in 30 days because you have an offer, and his offer was, hey, lose weight or we'll give you your money back. That was it. And he knew that nobody would want their money back if they were actually doing the program. So he had a strategic offer, a value, like everything, by the way, everything was event marketing. He drove his ads always to event marketing. He never did any other kind of marketing. It was just events. And he taught his gyms how to promote a challenge, a 6-week challenge, and how to do it in a small window of time, and then just rinse, wash, repeat. That's all I did. He had a 6-week challenge with a proven script that had a proven offer, and that got him at the point of sale. And then he licensed that. So there you go. That's what picking a niche is all about. And you guys honestly got like a pro level explanation of what picking a niche is, because most of the time people are like, I don't even think I have to have a niche. Well, you're stupid. So you guys are, right there, rock and roll. So any other questions? You guys have any questions? Don't all jump in at once.
I'm just going to make sure as well. So this video is going to go on our Facebook group and YouTube. So anyone's watching this, that niche navigator, I've got the link for it. We will drop that wherever you're watching it. The link will be somewhere below in the description, wherever you're watching this, right? So you can grab that from there.
Cool. You guys all head over to uphex.com, get a free trial. I mean, especially you, Alicia. I mean, come on. You're building these things in Ads Manager like a chump. Just kidding, not like a chump, like a lovely person. But you literally you can build these things. You can launch a campaign in 30 seconds, right? It's simple to do.
Sam, could
I
I
have
ask
no
a
niche
question,
yet.
please?
Really want to get going. What's that, Daniel?
I was going to ask you a question.
Go.
I guess for a lot of us agency owners, we, like you don't really sell leads anymore. You sell, pre-qualified appointments or pre-sold appointments.
Yep.
What is the best way to do that? Because I think Alicia was saying that they manually do that, and that could be quite limiting because you can only do that so much. But what's the best ways that the industry is doing it right now, where you guys are doing your pre-sold or pre-qualified appointments?
Can you ask your question another way? Are you talking about Like tactically?
No, like process wise, like are you using, you know, Gary's myCRMSIM, linked up to go high level, for example?
I'll take this one, Sam, if you want, mate. So, because there's
Go
a
ahead.
study from that Closebot did for this. All right. So, does everyone know who Closebot is? AI bot. It's awesome. Bryce runs that. Uh, so they ran study questionnaire basically of all their agencies that they have and to find out how are they actually getting appointments and what mediums are they using. And it was something like, forgive me, I'm not going to get exact number right, but it was something like 70 to 75% of all booked appointments were through text. So not necessarily all through like our system, myCRMSIM, but they were using text predominantly. So using an AI bot to follow up to an ad with an automation to book them into an appointment and a calendar model. So SMS is one of the greatest ways to do it because Alicia mentioned earlier, like calling, getting people, getting them on the phone, talking to people is normally, I would definitely say, is like the best thing to do if you can get people on a call and get them at a reasonable time and stuff like that. But getting people on a call is always a challenge. Getting them at a time, even if they answer the phone, they'll be like, how often do people answer the phone and go, yeah, yeah, but I can't talk right now? It's like, well, why did you even answer the phone then? Right? They don't want to have a conversation. But text messaging, like that's in their pocket. They're going to reply to that at some point. If they don't reply, you can send them another one, another reminder and stuff like that. People love to text these days. So I would
Can
definitely say SMS is a great way to do it.
so I always find that there's always like the art and the science, and I feel like people always want the science, right? And so it's the bot, it's the this, it's the that, and that's fine. But if you omit the art, you're so Alicia's an artist, I can already tell, right? I had a campaign, and I have a case study in my own agency before I sold it. He came to me in the midst of the pandemic, like 2020. He's like, dude, my clinic is going under. We have lost he was in California. So California was kind of like you guys were like really stringent in Australia, right? California was like that, right? And he was losing patients. His business had been cut in half. And he comes to me, he's like, I need you to save my business. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But I did. And he starts running ads, okay, using our system. And for the first 6 weeks, he got a ton of leads, but nobody was showing up for their appointment. None of that. It was the same system everybody else was using. Nobody was showing up for their appointment. So he reaches out to me and he's like, hey, can you target rich people? Hey, can you change the ads? Hey, can you this? And you know what I told him, Daniel? I said, no, my system works. I know it works. You need to follow you need to follow it in we're doing everything. Well, he wasn't doing everything. So one day he's walking by the front desk. The front desk has a lead on the phone. And he says, pass that lead over to me. Now, what is the difference between the way staff, a front desk person, a secretary talks to a lead and the way a doctor talks to a lead? What do you think the nuance is there?
More direct.
Okay. What the front desk person is going to just say, can I get your booked appointment, right? The doctor is going to say, hey, before we talk about your booked appointment, tell me about what you've been going through, like with your neuropathy. They're trained to do different things. What's been going on with your neuropathy? What kind of symptoms do you have? How's that, like, what's that affecting your life? So they're two completely different conversations. That person showed up the next day, converted to care, $4,500. He said, I don't know what happened, but start passing all of the calls to me. Like get him on the phone, then send it to me. He doubled his practice in 6 weeks. And then he started making way more money than he ever had ever in his practice. So not just pre-pandemic levels, he made more money than he ever made ever in his life because of what? One thing. A conversation where a person talked to a person about them. Okay. So the science, sure, use CloseBot. I don't care. Plug in whatever thing you want. That's fine. But you have to understand that people buy from people, right? And if you want asymmetric outcomes, Alicia is getting asymmetric outcomes because she has people talking to people. Now, Should you be smart and scientific about at what point in time does our automation hand the baton to a person? Yes, you should. Should you test that? Yes, you should. Right? Should Alicia offer that conversation to people paying $333 a month? No, she should not. Should she offer it to the 1100? Yes, she should. The people at $333 a month or a week should be getting educated on how to do that. They should use a system that she has proven to work. And she should publish case studies for people who can afford to pay her more. And she's publishing their results. And Alicia should record phone calls that her team is making. Like, I think you can. I did. If I wanted somebody to see what was awesome, I'd just say, hey, here's my team, because I did the same thing, Alicia. I had a team that would call these leads, and they would follow the same script that that doctor used. And that script was, let me talk to you about you first before we do anything else. I want to make sure that you're a perfect fit for us. So they didn't go in for the sale. They went in to the person first. And then that person was like, okay. Because people don't like to buy. They don't like it. They don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. Sorry. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. Okay? And so if you approach them doing the thing that they think you're going to do, which is the pattern is what? Let's get you booked for your appointment. They're going to fall into the pattern that follows that, which is not show up for their appointment. So there's always art and science, and there's always nuance. And people who figure out the nuance, they crush it. Absolutely crush it.
Michael's put a good point here about SMS, and I want to add to that with the science of using, because you got the tools, and you're dead right, Sam. It's like the tools don't matter if you're not using them in the right way. And like Michael said here in the chat, like SMS open rate is 94% in the first 4 minutes. So what we've always done and what we always teach people to do with SMS, let's say you're running a lead format on Facebook, right? And someone fills that in, is that we would send them a text message immediately that they filled in. So something along the lines of, hey, thank you for your inquiry. One of our team members will get back to you very shortly, okay? Or within business hours, whatever it might be. Because we want to try and make it that they get an immediate connection, an acknowledgement of the fact that they filled in their details. And then we have the bot kick in, or the automation kick in like 4 minutes later. So then an automated message will go out and it'll be like, hey, it's Gary here from Business ABC. I just got past your details. Could I get a little bit more information about your inquiry, whatever that might be? And then they reply, and then the bot can take that over and it can have that conversation and kind of draw a bit of information out of them with the aim, and that's the technology. The technology has got the aim of getting a booked appointment after finding out some information. But that point of difference there of having like an automation and making it really clear that this is an automated reply rather than having the automation kick straight in and come straight in with the, hey, this is Gary from XYZ business. I just got past your details, is too quick and it's too inauthentic because people know that there's so much automation these days anyway. But if you precurse it with a clear automation and then a follow-up, then they just think, geez, Gary's actually really on the ball. I only got that message 4 minutes ago and here he is messaging me already. How good is that? And there's the science behind how you use the tools. All right. So that's really important to do as well.
Well, there's science and art there.
Yeah.
Because you use psychology. I mean, you have some data that says, okay, do this, then this. But what you say in the message is the art.
Yeah.
Right? That taps into what emotion you should. So that's good. And then
Conversation.
Kartik with Uphex 2, the ad templates require optimization to ensure the ads are continuously performing and generating high intent leads. With Uphex, we generate 8,000 leads a day, and all we have to do is use artificial intelligence to map what things are working now, and we can continuously create high performing ads that are client ready that you can launch in that fast, right? But what you'll learn is, I mean, I have in my own agency, I ran the same ads for years. The guy that saved his practice ran the same ad with very slight changes for 4 years before I sold it. So I think The game that we play in local lead generation is not the same game that people talk about when they're talking about doing like, e-commerce and they're selling to millions of people. The algorithm treats us differently, right? And so you do optimize the ads to some extent, but it's not the same. It's easier. So, but you just learn what works too, right? So Alicia does like she has these, I'm sure whenever she gets a new clinic, she has like the exact type of image she wants, but it's for that client, right? So, does that answer your question? Amazing. Thank you. Awesome. Hey guys, go get a free trial. uphex.com. 14 days free. I give you a whole bunch of cool shit just for doing it. And thanks for having me, Gary.
Mate, thank you. Pleasure as always, mate. So, guys, yep, do that. Definitely get involved in the conversations. You have an awesome Facebook group there as well. Join the Facebook group that Sam has. If you Google Uphex on Facebook, we'll put the link. We'll put all the links for these things. So the link to your Facebook group, Uphex site, the niche navigator. We've got a few Aussies in here as well. Alicia, Daniel, Kartik, I think you're already in there. I dropped a link in here. We have a Australian high-level Facebook group as well. Come join that. There's a bunch of agencies in there. We just have conversations every week. They're great. People just come in, talk about what's working for them, what's not. It's just a good friendly group. So definitely join that as well, guys, if you want to. Mate, Sam, legend. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Hey,
Bye.
Dooley, I haven't talked to you in a while, buddy.
I know it's because you're holding those meetings at 3 a.m.